Hey everyone, I'm Michael Coker. I'm the mayor of the city of Mulberry, and I've got the mayor pro tem, Michael Rudnick, here, and we're going to talk about the Mulberry Comprehensive Plan, what that is, what it might look like, how you can get involved, and how you might be able to put your fingerprint on what the future of Mulberry looks like. So stay tuned. All right, everybody, we've got Mayor Pro Tem Michael Rudnick back for another episode, and we're going to talk a little bit about Mulberry's comprehensive plan. What is a comprehensive plan? What purpose does it serve? And basically, how is Mulberry crafting this particular document? So first off, Mayor Pro Tem, thank you for being here. For those that may not know, I've never even heard that term comprehensive plan. What does that even mean?
So a comprehensive plan is kind of what it sounds like. It's a comprehensive plan to talk about land use and what every single parcel of land in the city of Mulberry is going to look like and how the future land use is going to be utilized. Now, what that means is if you live somewhere and you live in a residential area, is that going to become a commercial area? No, because we're going to be smart and we're going to identify those as residential areas. But we've got some unused land in the city of Mulberry that maybe already is zoned commercial. You may not even know about it. It's zoned commercial. We have some unused land that's zoned residential. And so our job is to come up with what the vision for our future land looks like. Now, that's not to say that we're here to use every single parcel of land or build on every single parcel of land in the city of Mulberry. You know, we're here to make sure that it looks proper. And we need your help. We need your help to make sure that the city follows the vision of what the residents want. And so there's going to be some ways as we talk today to get involved and ways that we need you to get involved.
Yeah, and I'll also add to that too. Obviously, a comprehensive plan has even more in it. I mean, it talks about like things like streetscapes or tree canopies. You know, how do we want Mulberry to stay this place that's green with trees and with landscaping? It has things like, you know, stormwater management aspects of, hey, how are we going to manage if we get one of these really heavy rains? We obviously don't want flooding in people's yards. And so how do we manage that water? Where does it go? So it's land use, but it's also just kind of gives an overall look and feel for the particular city as well. So obviously, as we kind of talk about a comprehensive plan, I know that one of the main reasons that the city was created was because of land use, right? Some people were dissatisfied with maybe some of the various decisions that Gwinnett County had made. And so as we look at this comprehensive plan, like what's most important to you, knowing that that's what the constituents fought for to create the city, what aspects, you know, are non-negotiable for you?
I think having a community that keeps the rural feel that we have with some suburban touches to it is important. It's important to make sure that we've got focus on a density for our community that is less dense and making sure that we continue that feel. Specifically in my district has some of the larger lots, some of the bigger executive type lots, and I want to continue that. I want to make sure that the land that we have available that's residential land, we continue to build those large houses, large estate lots, and that we've got acre plus type lots. I think that's a great use of our land, and I think in District 4, it goes a long way toward giving it a feel. Go back on what you touched on a second ago. You know, different cities have different feels. And I think I've been to different places where you go to that city and you're like, I can really tell I'm in a different city. But it's got that feel, whether you're in Hilton Head and you see the different types of signage and the signage requirements that they have, or if you're in Peachtree City and you see the golf carts that they have and the golf cart paths that they have. You go to Milton. We had a retreat in Milton last year, and that city definitely had a feel to it, an equestrian type feel to it. So, you know, our city needs an identity. And that's what we've been working on really for the last year. And we're really hitting the ground hard now, making sure that we have that identity. And we'll use the public input. We'll use the input of the council. We'll use the input of staff to make sure that we move forward with that identity and give it something that people can really be proud of.
Let's talk a little bit. Obviously, Mulberry has 5 districts, right? And so let's kind of go through the different districts. If you could, as best you can, kind of identify where that district is located in the city. Maybe kind of the initial feel for that district, and let's kind of go through each of those in turn. So let's start with District 1. First off, I know that, you know, Councilman Tim Sullivan represents District 1, but just kind of geographically, where is District 1 for those who may not know, and what is kind of the feel of that particular district?
Yeah, so District 1 would go from essentially at the corner of Ridge Road and Hamilton Mill on the north side of Hamilton Mill. So it does encompass a little bit on the south side. So that Kroger going down to Walmart over to Sardis Church Road. And I believe it maybe cuts off at I-85. I'm not 100% sure, but somewhere in that area. And then kind of goes northward up Sardis Church Road and encompasses a lot of residential area up there. So that's kind of the geographic footprint of District 1. They've got a lot of commercial in that area, and they have a lot of residential. So that's a territory that's kind of a mixed bag of residential and commercial. It encompasses a good bit of Hamilton Mill Road, which is still somewhat undeveloped, along parts of Hamilton Mill Road. And then you've got a little bit of a rural feel if you go up Ridge Road, or if you go up Sardis Church Road, you've still got some farmland up there. It's got different feels and different aspects in different areas of that territory.
And I think to District 1, like you said, I mean, it is definitely, I would say, the biggest hodgepodge, right? As far as from commercial into the rural residential as you get up to Thompson Mill Road and those areas. And so I think the main focus for District 1 is going to be the transition, right? How do you effectively and kind of seamlessly transition from these commercial centers to that more agricultural residential kind of at the top end? And so I agree. I think that's going to be the challenge of District 1 is what do we need to do to make sure that that's a seamless transition, that you don't feel like if you live in one of the large lot residential areas at the top, that you feel like you're, some use gets plopped down that doesn't fit that character. And then versus on the south side where it's more commercial. District 2, that's my district, right? And I've mentioned this before, is I think that I am the only district that has no commercial. So we are 100% residential, and we have a lot of neighborhoods in our area. It's a very neighborhood-driven, large neighborhoods, Duncan Lake, Trilogy Park, different neighborhoods in our area. We also have Mill Creek High School. And so for us, the focus is a lot more of how do we give these families, these individuals that have chosen to raise their children here because of the great schools like Mill Creek or even Seconder, how do we encompass and kind of add to that? And if you could talk a little bit, I know you mentioned prior about, sidewalks and connectivity. Talk a little bit about maybe what we could see in District 2 from that aspect.
Yeah, District 2 goes from the county line on Brazelton Highway and on the west side of Brazelton Highway down to, where's your southern border?
So the southern border is 124, is Brazelton Highway. It goes up through across 85, basically to the Hall County line, Spout Springs Road, and then goes over Doc Hughes to kind of, like I said, get close to that District 1. But that's kind of the heart of District 2, right?
Yeah. And having that Brazelton Highway corridor in your district and being able to travel, having sidewalk network connectivity, I think is important. Making sure that, because that's where you've got people there. That's all you've got is people there. But just outside of your district is where you start bleeding your way into commercial. You've got 3 schools in your district. You've got an elementary school, a middle school, and a high school. We spoke about different time being able to take your kids to school maybe on your golf cart, which would be a tremendous, I think that'd be a really cool thing. Even have a golf cart lane at the elementary school to be able to drop off your kids.
Sure.
Something along those lines. So we've got all 3 schools, and building that sidewalk network connectivity, I think, is important. Those wider sidewalks, just encouraging people to utilize those sidewalks. And what that also does is that takes some cars off the road. When you take cars off the road, you lighten up the traffic, and there's nothing that you have to do with widening roads in that situation. So I think in your district, that's important, is getting the people connected. Those 3 schools, I think, are kind of your crown jewel. And, fortunately, we've got tremendous schools in our area, and I think that's part of the reason people move to our areas for those 3 schools.
I agree, 100%. Yeah. All right, let's talk a little bit about District 3. Kind of first off, geographically, where's District 3 and kind of what's there now and maybe what's the vision for that district?
Yeah, so District 3 is what you'd think of as probably Hamilton Mill and the Hamilton Mill area. So it encompasses about 2/3 of the Hamilton Mill neighborhood. District 4 has about 1/3 or 25% of the Hamilton Mill neighborhood. But it also encompasses probably at least half the commercial in the entire city of Mulberry. So it goes on both sides of Brazelton Highway from the Hamilton Mill intersection all the way north past Jim Moore Road and up through the park and to Spout Springs Road. It also goes out to 324. So it goes all the way down Brazelton Highway to Gravel Springs Road and takes into account that Kroger and then the little commercial area across from that Kroger. So it has a lot of commercial area in it. Obviously the same amount of residents because our districts are made by number of residents, but it has the lion's share. I would say 50% of the commercial areas in District 3 in the city of Mulberry. So that's going to be a lot of our downtown development area. We spent some time at our last council meeting talking about having a DDA, which is a downtown development authority. I don't want people to think there's going to be skyscrapers and things like that in the downtown, but we identify a downtown area so that we can raise funds, we can have some different activities, we can identify those areas and have a downtown development authority of people that live in those areas to kind of shape and think about the future of that particular area, because it's already commercial. It's already commercialized. And so if you think about our most dense area is right along I-85 and going from Brazelton Highway down to Hamilton Mill Road and then even extending down to Gravel Springs Road. So that's our commercial area. No one's tearing down any commercial buildings and making residents. It's going to stay commercial. And it's good to have commercial in our city as well as residential. We've got a good mix, and we want to continue that vision moving forward.
Yeah, and I agree. I mean, I think having some good local restaurants, some entertainment areas, things like that would be a great addition to District 3. And obviously, you know, if you live in District 3, Councilman Shields represents that district, and I know he's got some great visions for what's going to happen in District 3. All right, let's go ahead and move on to District 4. Let's talk a little bit about your district. Kind of where is that geographically? What's the vision for District 4, and what can people expect with you representing it?
Yeah, for sure. So District 4 extends from the Barrow County line on Brazelton Highway down to Jim Moore Road, and that's one of our borders, and goes all the way out to Mineral Springs and Clack Road, right in that area. So we've got what I would like to say is the crown jewel of the city of Mulberry, which is Little Mulberry Park. Tremendous amount of acreage, tremendous amount of activity for families out there. I know my family's been out there numerous times, and every time I drive by there and it's a nice day, you can't even find a parking space there. So really, really, really nice park there. We've got a lot of residential in our area, but we also have some commercial right there along Jim Moore Road, going northward up to Pine Road. And we've got a lot of doctor's offices and just different small practices in that area. We don't have any restaurants in District 4, maybe one day, but not right now. And if you think about what District 4 looks like now, it's got quite a bit of rural touch to it, rural feel to it. We want to continue that feel. We want to make sure that we continue building executive style houses, executive size lots, having acre plus lots, making sure that we're utilizing our land to make sure it fits that feel. Because if you drive around District 4 right now, you're going to see a lot of that. You're going to see a lot of the larger style houses. You're going to see a lot of the larger style lots. You're going to see a lot of farmland still. And you're going to see some of the ideas and thoughts that we're going to continue in that district. And so I'm excited to be part of that. I'm looking forward to the feedback from the community as to what they're looking for District 4. I hope it's the same as my vision, and we can get some folks out there to really kind of give their input on what they're looking for.
Great. And then obviously we'll wrap up with Councilman Ingram's district, which is District 5. Maybe talk, I know that there's aspects of District 4 that look very similar to District 5, and then District 5 kind of does have its own feel as well. Talk a little bit about geographically where that's located, and then kind of what kind of the makeup of District 5 might be.
Yeah, District 5, kind of, if you take 324 from Brazelton Highway and go out Auburn Road, and Decula Road out there is in that territory, and then kind of abuts back up near my district, which again is near Mineral Springs and Clack Road. A lot of rural feel in that area out there as well. A lot of executive style housing. And I will say there's still a lot of farmland out there. And I think one of the visions that Councilman Ingram is looking to capitalize on is that equestrian type feel, and making sure that we've got some equestrian areas. We've identified and created equestrian residential and equestrian commercial zoning within our zoning code, so people can utilize that now moving forward. And I think that's going to be a really cool feel for that particular district. You know, Mulberry is so big geographically. We're 25 square miles, which is the biggest city in Gwinnett County. We really almost have 5 small cities within the city of Mulberry. And it's really cool. Within one city, we can have 5 different feels and 5 different types of kind of personalized touches on each of those districts.
I agree. And I think the cool thing with the different districts is, you know, we can have a centralized vision and idea for the city. But I think one thing that would be really cool is that if you, just like how you mentioned that different cities have different feels, if you kind of even have those different feels as you go from district to district, right? Like you'll know okay, I'm in District 5 and I just transferred into District 4 because maybe the architecture looks a little bit different. Maybe the farm fencing looks a little bit different. And so I think that'll be really neat as you transition from district to district, that each one will have its own little neighborhood community feel, even within the city of Mulberry, which I think is really cool. Now, we've talked about what a comprehensive plan is. We've talked about the different districts. Let's say I live in one of those districts and I want to kind of help. This is exciting. This is cool that we finally get a say in what our city's going to look like. How can I get involved?
Yeah, we're having different comprehensive plan meetings for the community to be involved in. It's required by law to have community input in public meetings. But not only is it required by law, we really need your help to come in and give your input. When we say we have thoughts and ideas, those are the thoughts and ideas of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 council members. But we need the thoughts and ideas of the community. So the easiest way to do that is going to be to come out to one of these information/opinion giving sessions. And the first one is April the
14th. 6 o'clock, City Hall, April 14th.
Yep, April 14th. So that's going to be the first one. But there's going to be quite a few over the next 6 months. I would encourage you to come to the first one, though, because that's going to be the kickoff. That's going to be the exciting one. That's going to be where you really learn what this process is going to look like, and we're going to be able to walk everyone through it. We're hoping to have a really big turnout at City Hall and have the community come out and tell us what you want your district to look like. Tell us what you want the city to look like, because ultimately we work for you all and we work for the citizens. So our idea is important, but what we need to capitalize on what your idea is. And that's where we need your input to come out and help us with that.
Yeah. And I mean, you as the constituent, I mean, you have, I'm sure, your own vision and your own ideas that we may not think of, right? And so if you've got this great idea of a way to make our city better, we want to hear from you. I mean, we want you to be a part of this. And this is a time really for the community to come together, right? We know that when the city was founded, there were people that were for the city and people that were against it. But this city's here. It's here to stay. And I think this is a great opportunity for everyone, regardless of maybe how you felt the city during the creation, to come forward, give your opinion, give your input, and make sure that this city becomes what we want it to be as a community. Absolutely. All right. Anything else about the comprehensive plan or about, the land use that you want to mention?
No, just again, to piggyback, and please come out. Please be part of these public meetings. Come to our city council meetings, get to know your council member, but come to these public meetings as well to move the vision of our city forward. We're 15 months in right now. We've got the rest of eternity to build this city, but we want to get it to a city where everyone can be proud of it, whether you voted yes or voted no for the city. We want it to be somewhere where you enjoy living, where people want to move to and people want to enjoy their family life.
All right. Well, Mayor Pro Tem, thank you so much for being here. You're always a wealth of information, so I appreciate you. I know the guests or the listeners also appreciate it because I always learn something when I talk to you. So thank you for being here again. And for you guys out there, if you like getting these updates, please like and subscribe. Obviously, I'll keep them coming, right? If you want to know what's going on in our city, this is my gift to you to make sure that you stay informed. I know that was very important to me. I know that's very important to the Mayor Pro Tem too. He does a lot of great social media things. If someone wants to follow you on social media, what's the best way for them to do that?
Yeah, it's if you just go on Facebook is the easiest way. If you just look up Michael Rudnick Mulberry, my page will pop up. You can go on there. Please give me a like. I try to do a recap of our council meetings after each council meeting, just do a little short live update. And then obviously share different events that are going on in our community.
Yeah, awesome. All right. Well, we appreciate you guys listening. Everybody stay safe out there, and we'll see you next time.